Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm JC and today's video is going to be another AuthorTube tag video. It's a get to know the writer tag and I found it on Erin Kinsella's AuthorTube channel. I will link her channel and the questions in the description box below. I'm going to read them from my phone. Let's get started. Question number 1. At what time of day do you usually write? I typically actually write in the midday to the evening, more so the evening. I am a night owl. I am more creatively inspired in the evening, but it does not always work out that way for me to get to write in the evening because life. So I tend to end up writing midday to early evening. Question number 2. Do you outline your work or just wing it? I do not just wing it. I outline profusely. I probably spend way more time on the outline than you probably should. I know I get hung up on the outline, and outlining is a good thing, but there are times you can get a little too hung up on the outline, and that would be me. So, number 3. What author or authors do you admire the most? That's a hard question. If you're talking about admire their writing, like just their writing, the way they write, Toni Morrison. I love Terry McMillan. I also love David Baldacci. His writing is really, really good. And yeah, but if you're talking about who I love their writing and the way their career is, James Patterson. I think that's top of my list. Not only do I love his writing, the way he writes, and yes, I know that he does a lot of co-writing, and a lot of his co-writers do a lot of the work, but he does outline his own books. He gives them the outline, he goes over what they write, he sends them back to rewrite it if it needs to be written again, and ultimately he goes over, and nothing goes past him that he does not approve, and it's not the way that he intended for the story to be. So it's ultimately his story. But I know in his earlier books he did not have co-writers, and even those I love. But I love the trajectory of his career. I don't think I've seen a writer that puts out as many books a year as he does. I'm trying to be like that. I admire that. So yeah, he'd have to be at the top of my list. So it depends on what we're talking about here. Question number 4. What's your least favorite genre to write or read? I don't like to necessarily write in fantasy, only because I just can't get beyond the world building aspect of it. As much as I love to outline, you guys that write fantasy to create entire universes and worlds that maybe I just don't have that much imagination. I just it's not something I'm not saying I will never try to write it. I'm not there yet. As far as reading, I do not like horror. Now I like Stephen King, so that sounds weird for me to say that, because I do like Stephen King. And Misery is not necessarily. I can do Stephen King when he's doing stuff like Misery. But horror, like, it comes to mind, and it creeps me out. Just thinking about it sends panic through me. I don't like horror. I'm talking like Freddy, Jason type of Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't. Light horror, maybe. And I'm sorry, but Carrie is horror, and that's horror that I cannot do. Yeah, light horror, like maybe short stories, like Edgar Allan Poe, Telltale Heart. That's technically considered horror, but it's not. It's light. And I just recently read Penelope's Curve by Cache Warren, and that is a horror short story, but that I can do. It's excellent. I just can't do the guts and gory, and I can't creepy and stuff that makes my skin crawl. And nope, I can't do it. Number 5. Do you want writing to be a hobby, or is your goal to write full time? My goal has always been to write since I was 6. Realistically, since I was 10. But when I was 6, I said I was going to be a writer. I knew that's what I wanted to do. But of course, when you're 6, people tend to think you don't know what you're talking about because you're only 6. And it's true. Most kids don't want to do the same thing throughout their entire life. By 10, people started to see that I was a bit more serious about it. When I got to high school and I was still writing, people said, "Oh, okay, she's really into this." So since I was 6, I've known that that's what I was just meant to do in this life. I would like to get to do writing the way I envisioned it, which was to, vacation and write somewhere and, not have to do anything else but write. I ain't there yet. I'm working on it. Number 6. What's the hardest part of writing for you? The business side of it. The getting it published. Before, when I was trying to do traditional publishing, the querying and the trying to get an agent or trying to get it published to notice that part, it was tiring. It was exhausting mentally. It was very bruising on the ego. Yeah. Now that I'm trying to self-publish, it's still, it's still exhausting and mentally draining and all that, but at least I know, I have some modicum of control. But it's still, I don't have a good head for business. Business was not my thing. So I don't like the business side at all. I just want to write. I know that that's realistically not possible, but because I don't have it like that to hire a team of people to do all the stuff I don't want to do. So I have to do what I have to do, and it is what it is. But realistically, I would just write. If I had it my way, I would just write. So the hard part for me is the times when I can't just write, just focus on writing, because I have to focus on how am I going to market this. I got to get someone to do the cover. I have to upload this and get the vendors. I have to do the business side. I have to turn on business mode. So that's the hard part of writing for me, is the part where I have to be all business and not the creative. Number 7. Do you have a writing routine? It depends on what you mean by routine. But no, I guess I could say that I have a writing routine. I typically get up around the same time. Never the time I plan to get up, mind you, but around the same time. I get up every day. I tend to have a few things I like to do in the morning. They get my brain mentally ready for the day to write. There's stuff I do as a mom that I have to fold into, make sure I navigate my writing around that. But I suppose my routine, I write in the same place. I don't always do the same thing. Sometimes I'll watch a live stream and write. Sometimes I'll listen to some the ambiance music playlist on YouTube. Sometimes I'll do that and write, or the one with the typing sounds, because I like that. Sometimes I'll throw some useless TV on in the background so that I can have the noise. But I don't typically like to listen to music when I write with lyrics, and I don't necessarily like instrumentals. So there's that. Because then I'll start singing, and then I'm not writing before I know it. So I suppose that's a routine. Number 8. What's your solution to writer's block? I tend to watch a lot of movies when I get writer's block. Movies that'll give me inspiration. Movies about writers, movies about writing, or movies that revolve around books, or people that do creative stuff for a living. Movies that, mysteries. I love mysteries. I love like my little cop procedural shows. I love those, which somehow give me ideas for other mysteries. But and then I like to sometimes watch, like if I'm really blocked, I will read a bunch of author interviews from writers. I will watch author interviews from writers to kind of see their process and things, how they do, and it motivates me. And sometimes I'll take a drive and just go somewhere, get some fresh air. Usually I have a destination in mind, but it's mostly so that I can get the drive. Especially now with everything kind of the way it is in the world. Not really going as many places as I used to go. So now I just sometimes have to just find an excuse to take a drive sometimes to clear my mind, or think through a story idea or a plot hole, that kind of thing. So I guess that's my thing for writer's block. Number 9, how long have you had a writing blog? I have had a writing blog since before 2000. I've gotten more consistent with it probably in the last 5 years. It was more sporadic before. My magazine, which I don't know if you consider that a blog. No. Okay. I've probably over 10, 20 years. But again, like I said, I've been more consistent in the last 5 or 6 years with my blog. I post once a week. I can't do once a day, because then I think that'll make me tap out creatively, and I'll have to save some creative energy for my other projects. So I once a week on Mondays, and my blogs are linked in the description block below, and my magazine is also linked down there as well. Check it out. Number 10, do you think having a writing blog has helped your writing in any way? Absolutely. As I said, I've grown more consistent with my writing, with blogging over the last several years. And when you write consistently, it can only ever help. I think having a blog, it helps better your writing. It helps you stay consistent with writing. It gives you, it's a habit that you form to have that blog post or however often you choose to post it. If it's once a day, once a week, or if it's every day, it gets you into that habit where, you are at least writing that much. Even if there have been times when I've had writer's block, and I will post a post on my blog about writer's block. So yeah, I may not have written anything in my novel, but I've at least written that post, and it keeps you consistent and keeps you in at least that much of a writing routine. And I think it can only ever help improve your style of writing. I've noticed the style of my writing has changed over the years. It's only gotten better. And sometimes I'll go back and I'll read something from years ago, and I'm like, it was good when I wrote it, of course. But when I read, compared to what I read now, I'm like, wow, I've really grown in my writing. And you can see And your blogs allow you to see a visual representation of how your writing has grown over the years. If you do not have a blog, I recommend you have one, if for no other reason but to keep track of your writing style and how it's changed and developed and how you've grown with it. It's kind of a diary of sorts, except for I don't do it every day, but I think it can only help. I don't think it could hurt. So that's all the questions on the tag. And again, I will link Erin Kinsella's channel in the description box along with the questions. And that's it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos from me, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let me know in the comments, what does your writing routine look like? And do you have a blog? And if you have a blog, put it in the comments so I can go read it and check it out. Till next time, have a blessed day. Bye.